I have to put my ranting pants on because I've gone and subjected myself to another film that, I was hoping was going to be amazing and of course wasn't.
Why, Ben?
But
Why?
because, I'm a sucker for punishment and, there's been instances of this before. I'd put this film on the par with Star Wars: The Force Awakens, probably the second Avatar, and the film I'm talking about, of course, is Alien Romulus, which just debuted on Disney Plus. So I didn't pay extra for it, at least. And the reason why, before I get into ripping it apart, of course, the thing that kind of astounds me is just that I lump those films together because I found them so profoundly disappointing from a creative point of view, yet they're so well regarded in the culture. Like, they were very positively received. Alien in particular was a return.
AI reviews, Ben?
Yeah, potentially. Like this new Alien film was a return to form. All that sort of stuff, and that's the thing that as a top line, it kind of blows me away why that's the case. I just, a bit like with Avatar, like I'm not denying that technically amazing, but really, 14 years and they couldn't come up with a stronger script than the one that they used. Star Wars: The Force Awakens was just a inferior remake of the first film. That kind of, I'm sure there'll be people that'll, start commenting that, that I'm gone off the deep end, or I don't know how harsh I'm being. But it's not that I'm saying they're poorly made. It's just that it's literally not bringing anything new to the table. And if you're just going to recycle old stuff, you've got the old stuff there already. And it's better. So just watch that.
I have to agree with you. I personally, it just wouldn't take that much more effort to write a slightly new script. There's still going to be people on a spaceship with an alien chasing them. You don't have to do anything super different, but you could come up with a slightly different story. And I think, I don't think they're trying to tell stories in Hollywood anymore. I think they're trying to sell experiences, and they do that through a whole montage of sequences that they pull together and think we'll make a blockbuster movie. But yes, I don't know. It's certainly their motivations and their thinking is lost on me.
So, just to highlight a bit of what I'm talking about, a few examples, of course, in this Alien film. Obviously, there was this nostalgia bit that they, if you want to call it that, that's the most charitable reading of it, where they effectively just copied scenes from all of the previous films and jerry-rigged them all into this script so that they could fit in. So, the Ripley getting into the spacesuit to eject the alien out of the airlock scene. Yep, check, that's in there. The get away from her, you bitch line is in there. The restaging of the Alien 3 iconic shot with the alien breathing down on Sigourney Weaver, but with the new character, check, that's in there. The newborn from Alien Resurrection, check. The black goo from Prometheus, check. I didn't mention this one before we got on. The engineer's face shows up on the newborn for some reason, because he's grown enough to, create an engineer's face so we can remember it from Prometheus. Check. So all of that, apart from being, and I won't get to the most egregious thing, I'll get to that in a minute. But essentially, all of that actually takes away from the actual the scariness of it. So at no point do you feel scared, because you see all of that coming, and so there's no tension built or anything like that as well. So it kind of falls flat on its face. But then finally, the worst thing of all, and I know I'm sort of lumping it all together here, is the deep fake Ian Holm inclusion. And it's not that it kind of makes sense why that character's there in the story, but the way it was executed, it just did not work at all. And I was just getting angry every time he showed up, because it wasn't just a cameo. It's actually a really extended performance that's used in this thing, and and actually it missed all the nuance of that character from the original Alien as well, because he's nefarious, because he's up to no good doing stuff. but there was a two-dimensional quality to the nefariousness in this film. Like, I'm just, they're just missing the moustache twirling effectively. And anyway, so that's, I'm not even beginning to, like, there was a couple of things in there that I thought were good. You know, the first 10 minutes was good. There was a new sort of reason why they're going to a place that could potentially be dangerous, even though they don't know xenomorphs are there. Which I didn't mind. You know, the first actual scare scene I actually did like. It's just it all went downhill after that. And so there were a couple of things in there, and a bit like what you were saying, like it's not that hard to come up with something that's just even a little bit different. If they just stuck with that, what they were trying to do in that first 10 minutes and actually carried it through, it might have actually gotten somewhere.
Well, I agree, and you know, this probably starts to move into our next topic, but I would have thought personally that you could have got AI to write a better script. Well,
effectively, the scriptwriters were doing that in this particular instance.
I'd sack them, and you get, you know, AI to write the script, and it'll have a decent story arc, and probably be consistent, and have you know, just less logic errors and continuity errors.
Absolutely. So why am I choosing to rant about this? It's because obviously, like you, Steve, Aliens are, you know, a staple franchise, particularly for me growing up. You know, Aliens, Star Wars, Star Trek, all these things. I think we've spoken about a lot of these franchises in the past, you know, little while, about how they're, you know, you might as well just check out and just watch the old stuff if you're an original fan anyway, because nothing new is being brought to the table. Do you remember, maybe I should finish on this point, do you remember the time when they would come up with a new film, or they're talking about making a new film, and you got excited because, oh, what are they going to bring to the table to, you know, expand the universe or the lore or whatever? And they almost always, you know, not always successfully, but they almost always did.
Well, they had to back then, because if you weren't entertained, you just, you know, you wouldn't go back to see the next film. So it mattered. I think today the offerings are so generic, and the franchises are owned by studios that really just are rehashing them, because they probably realise that rehashing them works better than them trying to write new stuff, which is more hit or miss.